You're ready for that? Yeah.
Putting you to work. I'm just getting the things. Just true. It's so good to be back in person. Thank you all so much for being here. We have an echo.
Thanks.
Okay, so welcome. General meeting of March and also be here. Can folks on Zoom hear me? Just give a hands up or a nod. Carol, can you hear me? No? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. All right, so welcome. Thank you all for being here. So as you all know, we are in the midst of petitioning season, which is one of IND's favorite season. There's petitioning season, primary season, and then we pretty much relax, except when we go down south to help out our friends to the south, like Councilman Grant. And and other races that I'm sure we will get in on at some point. But right now, our focus is obviously petitioning. As you can see, I dressed as a petition today. So if you have not yet signed the petition, we have 3 ready for your signature. We've been out there on the streets for our council members who will join us tonight as well. Lincoln Ressler, Shahana Hanif, and Crystal Hudson, as well as all of our amazing judicial candidates, one of whom is here. Thank you for joining us. And of course, all of our judicial delegates, as many of us in this room are that. So before I kick it off into the official agenda for the evening, because we're joined by some pretty awesome people here from the Rock campaign, wanted to toss it over to Rena to give us a little bit of an update from the campaign trail.
Hi, good evening, everybody. First, I want to say that I'm so grateful and thankful again to IND for their endorsement. I am, as a club member and having volunteered my time for other candidates, it's a different experience. You see how much value IND can bring, but now as a candidate, it's a whole different perspective, and they get to see everyone's work on like this big organizational level, and it's incredible. So thank you everybody for your time, labor, effort, and encouragement. I'm really excited to keep this up. We've done a great job so far, and I thank you so much. I had a great time in Carroll Gardens over the weekend, and look forward to hopefully seeing you all on Saturday in Berkeley Park. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Rena? Where are you headed next? What's your next stop after this?
It's probably, I still have to figure out my route. But I'm independent Democrats, and there's also an engagement. So I'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure that out in a few minutes. So I apologize, I can't stay long, but I'll be heading out in just a few.
Got it. No worries. Thank you for stopping by.
It was nice to see everybody. And hi on everyone on Zoom.
Awesome. So on the petitioning front, we do have a special shout out for our top petition getters. But we need to run the numbers. So Seamus, I'm going to send you over there. So
I'm waiting on Howard and Hunter to do their thing, so.
Surprise ING gift for top petition getters. That's a little so yes, that's right. As everyone should know, petitions are due back to IND by March 24th, which is the Friday after this Friday. So 1 week from tomorrow is a better way of saying that. And to celebrate the end of IND's petitioning sprint, we'll be meeting at the Park Plaza Diner, which has been our petition HQ. They have a ton of food and beverage options, so we can all raise a glass to the end of petitioning season and the maybe thousands or at least 1,000 signatures that we've collected so far. But before that, we have a couple of really good events. Rena mentioned one, which is Saturday at Fortune Park Free Market. We'll be with Crystal and her team in partnership with the Brooklyn Young Guns, of which we have the president right here, Hunter. Give it up to Hunter. And then the next day on Sunday, we have a petitioning event with Shahana Hanif's campaign at 11 a.m. at the Old Stone House. So I know a few of us have already been around there, but we're going to do it with the candidate herself. And then next Wednesday, so a week from yesterday, we'll be with Lincoln and his team right over here at the Court Street Station stop in partnership with the Brooklyn Young Guns again. And afterwards, we'll go for a round of drinks at Custom House. So 5:30 p.m. Court Street Station. All of this will be on the IND calendar, which you can find at indbrooklyn.org. Welcome. Okay, so that is sort of the petitioning updates for the club. I'm gonna throw it over to the Rock campaign to talk us through why they are here. So we'll let her tell you about that. And I know we have a speaker on Zoom as well. So welcome to unmute yourself whenever you're ready. But the floor is yours.
Thank you for having us here. My name is Jose Saldana. I'm the director of the Release Agency in Prison Campaign. I'm also formerly incarcerated. I was released from prison in 2018 after 38 years of incarceration. And our mission is to end mass incarceration in New York City. In a crisis, particularly a crisis that was created by mass incarceration. Long prison sentences in the front end, and in the back end, little opportunity for release, creating the prices of people aging in prison, getting old, sick, and unfortunately dying. Half of my mentors that I've had throughout the 30 years in incarceration died in prison. And that's a problem. That's a crisis, it's an inhumane crisis, and it's something that can never happen, not even in our prison system. Every 3 days, an older person dies in our prison at a relatively young age, 68 years old. And you know, because of the long prison sentence. And just imagine this, you're in a prison visiting you, and your daughter comes to visit you, she's been visiting you for decades. And you see her talking to a young man who's also incarcerated. And you wonder, in prison, there's certain rules, carnal rules. You know, you don't violate another person's dignity. So when I see that, I'm a little tripped up. But the young man she was talking to was a little boy that she met when she was 9 years old, visiting me with her mother. And this little boy was coming with his mother to visit his dad. Now she's coming to visit him. The mother's now coming to see him. I know the dad, then I got to know the son, and they're both very nice. That intergenerational issue devastates tens of thousands of families in our community. In Brooklyn has the highest rates of people to get the life sentence. So this is what we're trying to do, and we're trying to remedy this situation. The older parole bill, which is 50 states that a person who's 55 years old. I know some of the young men over here saying, "Oh, I'm 60." Well, you know, you haven't served 38 years in prison. So 55 and serve 15 years, they would just be entitled to a parole hearing, no guarantee, just a hearing, and it's really hope. Give people hope. The UN said that to deny a human being of hope is torture. That's their standard. So just give people hope. And not just those incarcerated, but the families, hope. Tens and thousands of families have hope. And the Fair and County Parole Bill provides that a person cannot be denied exclusively for the nature of the crime that was committed. In my case, 38 years ago. And other people say 48 years ago. And I just want to very quickly read something just to demonstrate why this is so critical. This is a portion of a letter that was written to me by the chairwoman of the New York State Parole Board. Now, I wrote a letter supporting somebody, and I asked him in the letter, I said, do not do to this young man, he's very young to me, what y'all done to me, denying me parole over and over and over. So she writes, since you mentioned the appearance you made before the parole board where I was a commissioner on the board, she was the new commissioner, the one asking all the questions. She said that she reviewed the transcript of that parole hearing in 2016. And she said, now she goes on to say that judging by what you told me then, that you didn't care what the parole board decided. I was frustrated, being denied over and over. I said, I don't care what you're doing for. There's one thing I control and you have no control over. I'm going to die an honorable man, or I die in a prison cell, or I die home with my family. He said, and how you have demonstrated your life since release, I admit that I was wrong in denying you parole, and I apologize. But an apology doesn't fix the problem. The problem can only be fixed by legislative action. And that legislative action is the two bills that we said will not only create justice for men and women languishing in the prison for decades, but it also ensure that the next generation will not suffer the same consequences. Thank you very much.
Carol, are you able to unmute yourself?
So
Did you
John?
just say me, Carol? Hi, thank you.
One
I'm so happy to see all of these faces.
Sorry, 1 second, Carol. Just trying to hear you. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear now?
We have to
Can you-
mute, so sorry about that.
Okay, thank you for being here. I'm a former commissioner on the New York State Parole Board. It's the first time I actually met Jose, was on the parole board. I'll be very brief. I have to tell you, I've met so many people in prison who are older, who've transformed their lives. They're way more than the worst thing they ever done. These bills, and I left the parole board specifically so that I could be vocal to changing our parole and release practices, and specifically for elder people. They're the ones, as you've already heard, who are really suffering the most. And these bills will go a very long way. They don't guarantee release, but we've got to really look at the purpose of parole is to assess who the person is today. What have they accomplished? Who are they now? Not who they were in the worst days of their life. So I really want to thank you all for taking this very seriously. I know I do, and I appreciate all the work that is going behind this. And if you saw and met all the amazing people I did, you would understand that people are languishing in our prisons simply because we're not following the purpose of parole. So thank you very much. And I really applaud this meeting tonight and all the hard work we're doing on petitions and legislators and people who are working on this to know how important this is. So thank you very much.
Individual,
Sorry.
asking them if they support, and if they don't, to please support these bills. As Jose said, these bills will save lives. And we really just appreciate the time that you've given us to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great, so don't go too far. We're gonna open it up for questions. And thank you. We will share that link around. And we have a couple questions. Steve, we'll start with you.
What's the status of the bill, and have you gotten, where does it stand now?
So both of the pieces of legislation is currently in the Crimes Victims and Corrections Committee. We are at almost the majority. In the Senate, we have 29 and 30. And in the Assembly, we have 52. And Jared might correct me, 52 on one, and I think 60 on the other. We are really close, and we have electeds who have said, as soon as the bills get to the floor, we will vote in favor, right? So we don't need the whole supermajority, Where we're at right now is just really trying to get them voted out of committee. So we're working hard on our elected who are chairs in committee to actually bring these bills to the floor for a vote.
Can you tell us specifically, like, in terms of our local state senators and state assembly folks, what's going on with them, and who do you need us to support?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just
Besides-
gonna repeat the question for folks on Zoom.
Okay.
Steve is asking, who do you need us to call and what can we do?
Actually, starting right here in Brooklyn, Senator Denardis. He is one who has not, he's just been redistricted, right? And he has not had an opportunity. We're working on that now.
Sorry. God.
With some constituency, we are actually trying to bring this same kind of presentation to his district, the people in his district.
This is a different.
And so this is one of the reasons why we're here tonight, but we're looking for houses of worship, any kind of community centers. We want to really build constituent support so that we can then go to him and say, hey, we've spoken to your community and the community has spoken, right? So all the support that we can muster in this district would be really helpful.
Thank you.
She had a question, I'm gonna come back to you.
Yeah, I wanted to know who's the Senate sponsor and who's the Assembly sponsor for the bills?
Senate Sorko is, on one bill, which is fair and timely, is Peloton. And the Assembly is,
Weapons,
yeah,
David, what brings you to
Assembly, and then on the other bill,
Brad Holman,
Hoyleman,
Elder Floor, and Senate.
And in the Assembly for the second bill, I didn't hear that. Who's on the Assembly? Who's these?
Davia.
Oh, what is the second bill?
One is fair and timely, and the other one is elder parole.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm Craig Murphy. Do you have like a short list of Senate and Assembly that support the bill now from Brooklyn?
Don't have them
You know, like,
filled out
wanted to
by
sort of
district.
like an official, we could bring it up and, you know, we could talk to them, but is there a list of who would you and?
I can get that for you. I can share that with Elizabeth.
In fact, Jared could probably put it on the chat.
Can you all hear me?
Senator Hoyleman's chief of staff here.
Jared,
Jared, on the chat, would you like to unmute yourself?
I think.
Sure. Can you all hear me?
Okay, wait, one sec, we can't hear you. Sorry, there's technology. All right, go ahead, Jared.
Thank you all so much. I just want to reiterate the gratitude for making space for us. So every senator in representing Brooklyn is a co-sponsor of both bills, except not yet Senator Denardis, although we have a lot of hope. We know his heart is in the right place, and we're hopeful that, in particular with the new district, that we'll have his support. And then brand new Senator Jessica Scarcella Stanton, as folks probably know, represents a little piece of Brooklyn, an important piece of Brooklyn, Coney Island, where there's a lot of people who'd be impacted by these bills. She has not yet taken a position like Senator Denardis, but we're hopeful that we'll have her support. But every other senator in Brooklyn is on the bills. Thank you so much. And I'll just add to reiterate Anissa's important point that we have majority support. We just don't have majority co-sponsorship yet. Thank you.
social, economic, and et cetera. I mean, for example, are they getting SSI, SSD, they're getting health insurance, are they getting Medicaid, are they getting housing? Because people will argue, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate right now. People are gonna argue, you're releasing these people from prison. They may not have worked before, they may not have contributed to the economy, and yet we're gonna be supporting them. You're gonna get a lot of negative feedback. So I need you to tell me in a positive way, how can we counteract that negative feedback?
First, they have contributed to the economy of New York State. You know, men and women in our prison system work in ministry for pennies, making every single step that we see in the state office building. Every New York State license plate is made in our prison. So they have contributed to the economy, but they're not satisfied as well. Now, if these bills were to pass, they would save the state over $500 million a year. Money that could be allocated for housing, all re-entry services, as well as some of the crises in the most marginalized communities of our state.
And all of the New York State tax advertiser that was being passed out, I believe also is being in the prison, so thank you for the clean hands.
Can I just say this to the young man who just asked the question? Do you know where your tax dollars go? So I'm a taxpaying citizen, you know, after incarceration, I need to say that, right? And I know that a portion of my tax dollars go to incarcerating human lives. It costs at least up to $500,000 per year, annually, to hold someone incarcerated. He said over the millions for 1 year. Think about 30 years of that $500,000 on one individual, that's our taxpaying dollars. What could we do with that money? That's my rebuttal.
And we also do have a variety of reentry services that are not good enough, but we do have those kinds of things available.
That's massive support.
There's support across the state. We even have support from agencies that are victim focused. People who service victims after something has happened, they support people returning to the community. We had a huge advocacy day on Valentine's Day to show the love that people bring to incarcerated people along with victims. So it was victims, formerly incarcerated people, all in Albany with our electeds, really showing that we can be treated and we can treat people as human beings. So we just really want to know from you guys if you can do the two things. Sign our phone to tool action, talk to your elected, and please think about this group coming together and doing a resolution to support both our legislation. We thank you for giving us.
I had a question. Has Senator Bernard said why he has not signed on?
We have not had that opportunity. We're working on getting that meeting with him now.
So you don't know why he has not
No,
signed on for it yet?
actually, he's really just been redistricted because his predecessor signed on both of our bills without a problem because he understood the humanity of the bill. Like, we just got to get a chance to talk to him.
Right, so it doesn't sound like he's in opposition, he's just.
We just haven't had the opportunity to present.
Understood. That was really helpful. Thank you both so much, and thank you for the folks online. Right, and because there are a couple of opportunities, both as individuals, we can all do the phone to action, which we'll follow up with after the meeting, and we can look at the resources here, and then we can decide as a body if we want to have to write a letter specifically to Senator Bernardo, since he's our senator, and we did all this work to get him on the ballot. So as the board can get him elected. So a resolution, specifically a resolution, not a letter. Okay. Take note. So is there do we do that? Okay. So I move that IMD authors a resolution.
Point of order. We don't have language of such a resolution yet, so.
Okay, so can I make a motion to?
Yeah.
Can I make a motion to draft the resolution? Okay. Is there a motion?
Part of
The Zoom,
Yeah.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Any, all in favor? All opposed? Hearing none, okay, the motion passes. Thank you. So just process wise, we will need to write a resolution. I think we did a some good starter language. And I think probably the executive board will come together and then bring it to the next general meeting in April. I don't have that date, but I know it's the third Thursday, so hopefully by then, we know. what that-
We'll meet you.
Perfect. Board chair. Okay. Business getting done. Happy to support.
The meeting is 4:20.
Okay, on April 20th.
What a day.
Okay, so thank you again. It's really interesting. I personally, I feel, the work of petitioning is fun and elections is fun as well, but really the heart and soul of IND is what makes you guys come out. So thank you so much for bringing this issue. Sorry. And with that, speaking of the politics of it all, I would like to welcome to the floor, Councilman Dustin Brennan. They has to pop out at 8, so just wanted to make sure that we get some time to speak. Yeah, welcome. The floor is yours.
It's good to be here. I'm Councilman Justin Brennan. I represent further south in Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, Dr. Heights, Baptiste, Bensonhurst. I was first elected in 2018 and now I'm running for re-election because of redistricting. We have to run again just to serve out the final 2 years of our term. I think it's John wants the money, but it is, we'll figure that out. It is good to be here at IND. Really, it's a legendary club. All we do, I mean, to see John still like pouring over petitions. Like, this shows like what IND is really all about. It's really cool. Folks that really aren't, obviously are about the issues, but and the policy, but also not afraid of doing the work, right? The work that helps elected officials. If you don't get elected, all you have is just some good ideas, right? You gotta win elections to actually move the needle and get stuff done. So I'm now serving as a finance chair in the city council, which is cool because under the last speaker, I was in the doghouse for about 4 years, so it's not nice to be in the sunlight. I'm getting a little tan on my bald head. But we have the opportunity to pass a lot of great bills, whether we are, passing bills about salary transparency and trying to close, the gender gap there in terms of wages and when you're sort of, doing battle negotiating for your salary, whether it's, environmental climate change bills or supporting small businesses, putting money back in the hands of homeowners. We have the first property tax rebate in 15 years that we got done in the last session. That was something that I really led the charge on. And something I'm really proud of that we just got done about 2 weeks ago was redefining domestic violence in the New York City human rights law. There was a really blind spot there in terms of economic abuse, so that survivors of domestic violence couldn't really take action on their abusers in terms of economic abuse because it wasn't covered under the New York City human rights law. So we changed updated the definition to include that. And now it's another tool in the arsenal of survivors to really, get some retribution on their abusers and their tormentors. So they say that most people that are in toxic or violent relationships, the number one reason they stay or they go back to it is because the person is controlling their money. I mean, someone's controlling the money, very hard to leave in a relationship. So I'm super proud of that. I've got a pretty interesting election coming up. I don't have a primary, but I've got about 95 people who all run for the chance to lose to me in November. With your help. But Southern Brooklyn is interesting, right? I mean, like, especially where we are in the deep south of Southern Brooklyn. We've been sounding the alarm on some of the issues we had out there for quite a while. Right? And we lost a couple of good men last session and a good woman to confront this. And it wasn't a surprise, right? A lot of people woke up the next day and were like, "Oh my God!" We were like, "Guys, doesn't feel good to say I told you so, but I told you so." And we see what's happening, things are changing, the tide is turning, and we really need to fight back. And I think I just wrote an op-ed recently that basically talks about, even though the Republican Party is completely batshit, it's not enough for us to just be not the Republican, right? We have to really put forward
an agenda to tell people what we're about. It's not enough to just say, well, they're nuts and we're not, right? Because clearly that's not enough, because Republicans in Southern Brooklyn are winning elections. And they're winning elections purely on people just voting Republican straight down the line, right? The guys who beat Peter Abadi and Steve Simberwitz had about $5 in their bank account, and I couldn't even tell you what they stood for. It didn't matter. People were just voting straight down the line. So that's what we're up against in Southern Brooklyn. So that's why we're not taking them for granted. Where I am, Democrats don't win by landslides, right? I won both of my elections, all three of my elections so far by less than 1,000 votes. And that's great. My predecessor, Benny Gentili, won his first election by 36 votes. So 700 votes is like a blowout in Bay Ridge. And that's okay, right? We know how to fight for every vote. To us, every vote counts. It's not just a bumper sticker. It's actually a thing, right? Every vote counts. That means that we leave nothing on the table. We have every conversation. We make sure people get out there and get people motivated, right? Some people think, Justin, you're fantastic. Everyone loves you. Yeah, but if they don't come out and vote for me, none of that matters. So you got to get people fired up. And that's why, we come to clubs like IMB and certainly and BYD for sure in November, because there's really nothing else going on. I think sometimes I personally get upset if I see people taking buses to Pennsylvania or Ohio when they could just come to Dr. House, right? Because it's the same thing. It's the same dynamic. It's a swing district. And getting out there and knocking on doors really matters. So I appreciate you guys giving me the time to say hello. I appreciate all you guys have done. Truly, like, no bullshit. I mean, it's just really a story name and sort of the political lexicon. So I think this is my first time speaking to IMB. So I appreciate you guys having me, and hopefully I'll get you guys out to knock on some doors in the fall.
To take some questions. I know personally we were out a lot for Max Rose and
Yeah.
looking at the numbers, it looks like you did better in Brooklyn, and not to be like, we did that, but.
We did that.
No, I know this room and on the Zoom, we're down there
Awesome.
almost every weekend having really good conversations. Some people are. Yeah, conversations that need to be had.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm just
Sure.
super curious, because I know I'm like very much in the Brooklyn Heights Park Slope like bubble, the
Yeah.
2-second bubble.
Right.
What are the issues that speak to your constituency when you're talking about, right, it's so close, and I know that we watch it over and over, and I understand the impact on the city, and that like I get, and that's why we're there. But tell me, like, how do you speak to your constituents around like showing up, getting out, given that it's more of a purple district?
For me, it's always been about constituent service, right? Like for me, my sort of golden rule is that if I can't get your garbage picked up, then how am I going to get you to believe in universal health care, right? It's the same government for most people. It's just a big clump. Right? They don't know the difference between city council and Congress or whatever, where they go. So for me, it's really being there on the day-to-day level. And then everything else becomes sort of extra, or everything else sort of like being there for people day to day allows me to do what I want to do at City Hall, right? Whether it's stop signs and potholes, building, I'm building 5 new schools, trying to invest in every park and playground that I grew up in that hasn't been renovated since I was there. Stuff like that is what I think it's more memorable to people than the policy I do at City Hall. Obviously that matters to me as a lawmaker, but you got to take care of that first before you can do sort of the other stuff. And that's really where it's at, right? I think the margins that I've won by, those are constituent service, right? When you're winning by 700 votes, those are people that you helped in some way. The issue that we're seeing in Southern Brooklyn, where it's sort of changing a little bit, is that I tell the story twice a day. My predecessor, Vinny Gentili, people used to come up to me and say, Vinny, you're the only Democrat I voted. Whether it was true or not, that's what they said, right? Now, those same people are more likely to say that they have said to me, Justin, you're great. You saved my cat from a tree. You lifted my car off of my, you're Superman, but you're a Democrat. Can't vote for your seat. So there's a disconnect that since Trump, it's changing a bit. It's that you still have to be there for people day in and day out. No problem is too big or too small helping people. But there's a national wind it's taking out people like Steve Simowitz and Peter Bobby and that's all, where you're not, you can't knock on enough doors to break past that. Doing the day-to-day stuff is your margin, you know, that's how you get going. So it's mostly that it's what I say is people's immediate reality. Like they live in a third-story walk-up, they get up, they get their kid ready for school, they walk down those stairs, whatever they see on their way to school, they drop off their kid, they go to the subway. That's their reality. That's my main focus. Everything else is like extra. Yeah.
Can you give us an update on the city budget? Specifically, what I want to know about is what's going to happen with libraries.
Sure, so we just had a big meeting Monday with all like about 40 something heads of cultural institutions and the heads of the 3 library systems. It's going to be a fight, right? I mean, we believe that there's plenty of money there to have a budget that is nowhere near austere, right? That's a budget where everything gets funded and needs to get funded. The give and take is basically the mayor's side. The mayor's side typically doesn't acknowledge the money until they have a plan to spend it. Right? They don't want to brainstorm with us about how to spend money. They want to say, hey, we found that $4 billion that you also saw. Here's how we want to spend it. We're saying, no, that money is there right now, so let's talk about it now. So I think you're going to have the historic give and take, but we're feeling pretty confident about the money that we have. It's look, there's still some uncharted waters ahead, but the money is there to have an equitable and efficient budget. And so, and libraries are a huge issue. And how do you make the library? That's every year. Yeah. So we're fired up because we had this great meeting. We had me and a couple other the senior leadership of the council with all the heads of the library systems. We're fired up to fight for this. Yeah.
Don't you feel the need to fight back, you know, by the New York Post defining, you know, you as the, you know, let them go, I mean, the ultra progressive, that I think that hurts it. Don't you feel the need to sort of counter that?
I mean, look, if you do, right, but if certain people are going to believe that, then like you kind of lost them already. There's only so much you can.
Because like you said, it's on the margin.
Look, if I had 5 minutes with everybody, I can explain all this stuff. The problem is you don't have 5 minutes. Right? Some of that stuff is tough, right? I mean, I think 9 times out of 10, the people that come to you with that stuff are probably not voting for you anyway. And so that's why it's so important to get your base out, to get people fired up. Like, there's more Democrats than there are Republicans. So I have no idea why Republicans are winning. It's only because we're not coming out to vote. So really, it's less about trying to convince those people who are just too far gone and believe in New York Post than it is getting our people out.
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Alice.
Hey.
And my concern, I heard you mention you're on the finance committee. How do you guys really believe that the New York City Department of Corrections should have such a huge budget?
Well, I mean, you know, so we spoke about this today. The speaker's mother was a corrections officer, so she has a pretty, you know, emotional connection to the corrections department. I think there's a conversation to be had around any, you know, make sure that they've got the money they need to do their job, but there's always efficiencies that can come to any business, you know, and that's a conversation we start at. That's how we head into the budget process. It's like, ultimately, we want to make sure all these agencies have what they need. We don't want to be overfunding one agency and then underfunding different ones. That's the give and take. You know? So what I always say is there's a popular misconception that you're going to like the New York Post is going to have an article that's going to say the mayor is looking to add X amount to the budget. The city council budget has ballooned to whatever it is. It doesn't work. Like, you don't sit down and just start ordering food until you're full and you start at zero. There's a charter mandate to allocate or save the money that is raised by the city, the economy. So it's not like we're making this stuff up as we go along. It's just a finite amount of money that you have to try to distribute as equitably and efficiently as you can. And everyone has different priorities and where they want to do. So you want to try to find a decent balance where you can get 51 people to vote yes for a budget, which is not easy. But you know, you do the best you can. Yeah, right on. Cool.
Other questions?
It's not a question, it's a comment, but
How do petitions look?
Those are always pristine.
It's mine, but everybody's, all right? But, when I was elected, I worked with Vinnie.
Yeah,
And there seems to, and I represented the piece, the
Yeah.
that went into Bay.
yeah.
And so a lot of little old ladies, blue tinted hair,
Yeah.
would come up to me and say,
Yeah.
right? They would whisper it because they were Republicans. And it was the community service and things that you
That's
did
it.
for them. But there really seems to me to have been a paradigm shift.
Oh, it's all.
Because now you have, I spoke to Joe Bogle the other day.
Yep.
He was saying there's a real shift that the core people that voted Democratic don't even want to talk to them.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. You've always had those people. You've always had the Marty Golden Democrats.
Yes.
People that haven't voted Democrats since like FDR, right? But yeah, it's tough. And now Trump just picked up all that silt, and now people are as divided and as tribal as ever, and it hasn't changed. So you have to work even harder to cut through this. It's really tough, really tough.
And if somebody can do it, he can do it.
No,
Great, so once obviously petitioning season is over and we are getting into primary season, we'll come down and help a little bit more to Southern Brooklyn, so we'll be on the hunt train. Okay, yes.
Wanted to,
Yes, well, two, okay, yeah, got it, okay, so, oh, yes. Thank you, yes. Really appreciate it. Okay, so little update from the petitioning world as we wait on Councilman Ressler, who is on the way. We are running a little friendly petition that folks didn't actually know about that we made up, but we're excited about it.
No, you made it up.
Well, it was Joe's idea, as is many things
You shot.
in terms of petitioning, which is to say, Joan, thank you so much for being our fearless leader in this effort, and Seamus for helping her almost every night. So give it up for them too. They've done. We wouldn't have printed petitions, we wouldn't have a headquarters that we got for free, which is amazing. All you have to do is buy a sandwich, and it works out. Okay, so the numbers are in, and our top two petition getters, signature getters are, as of tonight, are none other than, thank you, drum rolls, this one, okay, Art Levy. Our number two, as of tonight, is drum roll. Well, we all know it's been cold out there. It's been, there is one more left. We will give it away, maybe on Friday when we wrap up petitions. So as you all know, it's been cold, it's been rainy. These two guys have been out there. Well, many others, Ira, you're close. Have been out there every day in the rain, in the cold, so treat yourself to some hot cocoa or coffee. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah. Okay, so we are early in the agenda. Again, we have Lincoln coming soon, as well as Joanne and Shahana. So is Shahana on the Zoom? Can you give it?
No, I just looking right now.
Okay, so I can stop any updates from anywhere at all.
Including different continents?
Yeah, different. If you haven't signed a petition yet, then here, Kennan's on the run. Let's see.
He has our idea.
Other updates from around, I guess, one update is, we've been partnering a lot with the Brooklyn Young Dems as discussed and KB, but I don't have too much updates from the county city of it all, or the county organization. Do you have anything? Yes.
No, I was gonna say, I know we have some events scheduled for this weekend. Why don't you?
Yes, that's helpful. Thank you. So I chatted about this before, but on Saturday, we have an event again with Crystal Hudson in Fort Greene Market. And Danielle, our VP, will be heading that up. So if you're able to make it, I think we have a good group. I know a lot of folks on Zoom are coming. Julia and Elizabeth and a few other folks have already signed up for that. So the Fort Greene Market. Green Market, yeah. And the next one.
And also on this coming Saturday, Lincoln Wrestler is doing the same thing he did last Saturday, which is at Borough Hall, at the Green Market there. I just don't know the times, but we can ask him when he comes.
Yes, definitely. And then on Sunday, we'll be at the Old Stone House with Shahana and her team from 11 a.m. to probably about 1 o'clock. And then next Wednesday with Lincoln and Brooklyn Young Dems, we'll do a little happy hour event right over here as well. Any other updates?
Oh, and this will be in the email going out tomorrow. Anyone who wants to continue their little Irish spirit, the Brooklyn Irish LGBTQ organization is going to be marching in the Brooklyn St. Patrick's Parade. Email and all the info will be or the info and the sign up link will all be in the email, but 12:30 Prospect Park West and around, I think like 14th Street ish.
Super fun.
Yeah. Cheryl and I did it last year.
So, Susanna, I see your call to save me, but the councilman just walked in. So we don't need you just yet, but we will. Lincoln, hello, welcome.
How are you?
Take a minute to take your jacket off and everything like that. So it's been a busy night on the political club scene. I think LID also had their meeting and NKD, and I'm sure there were 10,000 other things that our council people had to go to. So happy to welcome Councilman Ressler.
That's on Zoom too?
Yeah, we're hybrid today. So
Right here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We got you.
We'll do this.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to see you all. You made it back in one piece, Jay. You look happy. I'm excited to hear more about the trip. Well, it's great to be with you all. And first and foremost, thank you for IND's endorsement and support. It means a lot. And thank you for all the folks who I've seen out petitioning. I know that Joan is cracking the whip, and I appreciate it as always. And I know that there was a thoughtful conversation in your last meeting around how you wanted to proceed on your endorsement races, and appreciate having the opportunity to come and provide some additional insight and answer questions that folks may have. I think that the New York Post and some of the other media outlets in New York City have an inclination to overstate, exaggerate sometimes issues or positions that folks take, especially progressives. And I don't think that it was any different here. But I'll give you a little context on what's been happening with the Progressive Caucus and what we've been building, and happy to answer any questions that you have. Now, when we came into the city council in this term in 2022, 35 out of 41 Democrats in the city council were a part of the Progressive Caucus. So essentially, Progressive Caucus was the Democratic Caucus. And myself and the other leaders in the caucus felt and feel like the point of a progressive caucus is actually to represent the progressive wing of the party, not to represent, and to put for progressive values. And so we went through a thoughtful, multi-month long process to reform the bylaws of the Progressive Caucus and to ensure that we would have more ideological cohesion and more active membership. And so we required for the first time that each and every member of the Progressive Caucus endorse 75% of the legislative agenda that we have, so that you're actually signing on to bills and showing support on the policy issues that matter. We put attendance policies in place to require that you actually show up to meetings, as many members of the caucus had not shown up in over a year to a Progressive Caucus meeting, yet they were members in good standing. And we updated the statement of principles for the Progressive Caucus, which has been a longstanding document in the caucus. And it was a 2-page long document. A lot of attention has gone to a sentence about reducing the size and scope of the NYPD and DOC and investing in alternatives and that can advance safety in our communities. And I think that's probably from what I understand from the conversation that happened in the endorsement meeting, is the thing that people are concerned about. It's certainly the thing that the New York Post was concerned about. And for the members who left the Progressive Caucus, it was the narrative that they wanted to tell, was that this is what this is about. I think that we asked the NYPD to respond to every issue under the sun, whether it be homeless sweeps or involuntary removals of individuals who are mentally ill, or vendor enforcement for street vendors, and many other issues that I don't believe the NYPD is equipped to handle or the best suited to provide the care, connections to treatment, the support that vulnerable New Yorkers need. There was no statement about abolitionism or ending the NYPD. There was no statement about any monetary reduction of the NYPD budget. It was a question of the size and the scope of the department. For example, we have significantly more police officers, school safety agents in our schools than patrol the entire city of Baltimore. And to me, there's a question of, do we want to invest in school safety agents and police officers in our schools, or guidance counselors and social workers in our schools that have the skills to de-escalate situations and provide care and support to young adults who need that? And so, look, I personally work, I don't think I've missed an 84th precinct council meeting since entering into office. I go to as many build the block meetings as I can. I actually represent 7 different police precincts across District 33. It will fortunately for me go down to 3 police precincts as a result of redistricting, but that's neither here nor there. Just in terms of my time at different meetings, I am appreciative. But I work incredibly closely with our police officers, and they play an integral role in our public safety. And I appreciate the work that they do very much. I just don't believe that the police are the only game in town when it comes to addressing the safety in our communities. You know, I'll give you an example. At Kiwanis Houses, I represent 7 public housing developments, at least for 10 more months. And Kiwanis is the largest development in the district, as our former assembly member knows well. There are over 1,100 units there. But we haven't had a functioning community center at Kiwanis Houses in over 20 years. There's no youth programming at Kiwanis Houses. And if we want to address safety in our community, if we want to create opportunity in our community, then we actually have to invest in our community. And so I think that this has turned into I think some have made this a more contentious argument than I certainly intended for it to be. And we hope that as a more cohesive progressive caucus moving forward, that we're going to be more effective at pushing back against the mayor's worst impulses and fight to get real wins in this budget to advance our affordable housing needs, our climate justice needs, universal 3K, and so much more. And that's really what the progressive caucus is all about. And I don't know if Shahana is going to be joining at some point. She was down in Flatbush where we started the night for an 1199 screening, but hopefully we'll get her.
She'll be joining on Zoom. I don't know if she's signed on yet, but yeah, take it.
Consider it something, but we were in a basement with very poor service, so I'm not sure that she's still down there.
Yeah.
So.
Lynn?
Yeah, so I was one of the people who was very concerned about the position, and I want to say first that I know that a lot of it has been taken out of context.
Yeah.
I read the complete statement of principles, and it's you know, you're certainly not talking about defunding the police in that statement, and I understand that. However, I think it was a very wrong-headed thing to do for a number of reasons. One is I think it's not good policy to say that we're going to do everything we can to reduce the size of the police force. I think that lots of us want reform of the police. We want them to behave differently. We want them to be trained differently. We want some of the things they do to be taken over by other kinds of agencies. But I don't know anybody in low-income neighborhoods or in upper-income neighborhoods who wants to see the size of the police force reduced in their communities. So that's the first thing. I don't see it as particularly good policy. But even more important, I think it's really bad politics. It damaged the Progressive Caucus. You now have half of the number of people in the caucus. The caucus was essentially the Democratic Party. It's not anymore. It's a smaller percentage. And
40% of the city council.
And citywide, statewide, and nationwide, talking about reducing police has been a losing strategy for Democrats. And I think that is just a bad decision. I think that it was gratuitous. You didn't necessarily need to talk about that in your statement of principles. It was tremendously damaging. And I think it will continue to be politically damaging. We've seen so many good candidates, some of whom didn't even talk about reducing or defunding police, but who were perceived as supporting that position, lose their positions. And I find it really difficult to understand why that decision was made by the leadership of your caucus.
I appreciate it and welcome your political analysis and advice. I disagree with it, though. We were ineffectual as a progressive caucus of that scale. We had a significant number of members who were not attending meetings, who were unwilling to take stands or difficult positions of any kind, absolutely unwilling to push back against the mayor and completely unwilling to push the speaker. So at that point, we were not a caucus that had an ability to organize in any kind of way or had the votes to be able to push any sort of policies that could actually make a real difference in advancing progressive
And have you
values.
strengthened yourselves by taking this position?
I do believe that as a caucus of 20 members, we will be more cohesive, more agile, more effective at actually advancing a progressive agenda. We still represent a significant majority or a majority of the Democratic Conference, or half of it, and are in a very strong position to push the speaker and leadership of the council and the mayor to advance the things that we believe in. So I think we will be more effective, more relevant, and deliver better results as a result of being a more cohesive caucus. I believe strongly in that. In fact, we wanted to have a more cohesive caucus. So that was our deliberate effort through the bylaws reform process, was to take members who are not progressive in any way and have them make the hard decision of ask themselves to hardly look in the mirror, and do they belong in a progressive?
Do you think that you can't be progressive if you don't support reducing the size of the police?
I don't.
Was that the issue that you really needed to create the problem with?
As I expressed, we went through a multi-month process of a bylaws committee that was led by members of the caucus, a diverse ideological group of members. And we went through a process where the members of the caucus voted by a supermajority to endorse these bylaws and statement of principles. We were not trying to pick a divisive issue. We were trying to create, if you read the full document, an overview of a statement of principles that expresses our broader progressive values. And, I think that some members chose to be a part of it. Some members decided that they didn't want to be criticized for not being perceived as progressive. So they wanted to burn the house down on their way out and try to make a big fight out of it. And that was their prerogative. I understand why they chose to do what they did. I feel that what we need to focus on is investing in the solutions that really make a difference in our communities. And, whether we're talking about the 5,000 or so, 4,000 and change police officers in our schools, or the fact that a very significant percentage of 911 calls are mental health calls. And, can we be deploying social workers and EMTs and other professionals who can respond in real time, connect people to the care and the treatment they need, de-escalate the situation quickly, and avoid some of the challenges that we've had with police encounters with mentally ill individuals. And that's my focus, is let's invest in the solutions that really work. If over time we realize that the police force can be recalibrated because we have more and better alternative infrastructure in place to respond to people's needs, then let's have that conversation. But, there was no, as I mentioned, specific effort to say we're reducing the police department by X amount or reducing the staff by Y amount, anything along those lines. It was a statement of values about how we believe we can best address people's needs. And as I mentioned, the cops play an integral role in the public safety landscape. I work very closely with the NYPD. I value the work of the NYPD. I think that we also need to invest in other solutions as well that can help connect people who have been struggling through our hospital systems, as you know well, through our jail systems, through our shelter systems that are not getting the support they need. And sending cops out as our first line of defense every single time is not actually helping them. And I think we can do better.
Yeah, thanks. Before we move on to other questions, I just want to welcome Shahana, or Councilwoman Hanij. Thank you for joining us. You're on the big screen as well. So if you'd like to say hello, feel free to do so. We're in the midst of a conversation about the Progressive Caucus and having a good back and forth. But I just wanted to give you a chance to say hello and welcome you to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. It's good to see folks, though I'm sad that I can't be there in person. I'm not even in my district right now, but there was an 1199 screening that I was a part of. But I'm really grateful to join and have this important conversation. I was able to listen to some of what my colleague, Councilmember Lincoln Ressler, shared about the Progressive Caucus shrinking, and really how the statement of principles came together. And it's with with a working group that was put together that is representative of the caucus membership. And one of your endorsed candidates, Councilmember Crystal Hudson, led that working group with us. And what we've agreed on is representative of the Progressive Caucus in this moment in time. And so looking forward to questions or really how we derived here, and how we can continue to engage in this discourse respectfully.
Thank you. And I did want to highlight some of the chat in case you all can't see it, but Susanna was saying that it's great that we can have differences of opinion even within the club, which I think is really powerful. And as many of us on the executive board know, that we tend to just disagree a whole bunch, but at the end of the day, we come together and do the work. And I did want to highlight something, Lincoln, that you said, which was about shrinking of the caucus, but in doing so, gaining more power, which I think an analogy may be, we are the independent neighborhood Democrats, but we're also part of the Democratic Party of New York, and we're sort of doing our own thing here in the 52nd, and we have, amassed amount of power, which has been really great. And we are obviously to the left of the Democratic Party, and in aligning on our organization, we can do more work on the ground. So that's how I really view the shift of the Progressive Caucus, and I'm personally in favor and proud to be represented by 3 of the Progressive Caucus members. But want to turn it over. I saw a bunch of hands here. Steve, go ahead.
I sort of take a bit of an opposite position. Do you think that your manifesto from the Progressive Caucus, particularly you dealt with the police issue, do you think that really represents the beliefs of the constituents, or is it just your beliefs as a progressive?
I would say that a broad cross-section of constituents across District 33 would be supportive, but I would have to ask, and they'd have to read it and review it. I think that this one sentence has gotten a tremendous amount of attention. I don't think that many people, I mean, Lynn isn't a constituent, but I don't think that many people in District 33 have read the statement of values that we developed.
But do you think it's incumbent upon you to put something out like this, that you go to your constituents and ask your constituents not what you do, but what they believe, where they stand? Because I support you, but I think you support us. And when you make a statement of values like that, I think you need to go to your constituents and take their temperature. Now, it doesn't mean, look, morally you may stand opposite somebody. That's part of elected office. But I think on an issue like this, if it comes up again, I think you need to come and talk to us first before you sign on.
I'm always happy to talk to you.
Good.
And I am always happy to engage in fruitful and productive dialogue. And I'd like to think that I try to make myself as accessible to my constituents as I possibly can be. I'm at community meetings every single night. We've held, I don't know how many town halls across our district, and we take every question, we engage in every possible way. And I always welcome folks' feedback.
And I'll second that, because you're always responsive when I call your office.
We do our absolute best to be real partners, and we welcome feedback from the community. The positions that are reflected in the Progressive Caucus Statement of Values are the positions I took as a candidate. They're the positions I was elected on, and these are the things that I believe. And I'm not going to shy away from what I believe. That's what it means to be a leader. And I welcome the feedback. If you think that I get something wrong, tell me, and let's have a conversation about it. But I got to do the things that I believe in, or I'm not going to be able to sleep very well at night. And it's always a balance of being reflective and representative of the community you represent, and fighting for the things that you believe deep in your core. I believe that I strike that balance, but it's up to the voters every year to tell me otherwise, and it's up to my friends at IND and at other places to give their feedback, and I genuinely welcome.
Thank you. Sharon.
I just have a follow-up, which is sort of along these lines. You talked about this analysis of how you decided to really make the caucus, truly progressive with these values. And I'm curious about, in a year, in 2 years, how will we, like, how will you and how can we all assess like the success of this strategy? Because you're talking about a strategy that you just put into place. It's really interesting. Obviously, the caucus shrunk, right? So you made a particular choice that probably knowing the caucus would shrink, right, in order to be more effective. So how will we know on the other side of this if you're effective, and how will you know if you're effective? I'm just curious about, like, I'd love to know
You
the
wanna
measures. a little
talk,
bit.
Shauna, would you like to jump in or you want me to keep talking?
I can jump in here. I don't know how closely you've been following the Progressive Caucus over the years, but essentially it has been a defunct body of the council. It has operated, it has existed, but it is operated without any parameters around attendance. And I think a good working, disciplined organization requires its members to show up to meetings. When we inherited the caucus or were appointed as leaders of the caucus, we were essentially operating an organization where our members were not showing up to meetings because there were no requirements on attendance. And it's not enough to have effective meetings just with our staffers. And many of our members who were showing up weren't comfortable that our colleagues were not showing up. So we began to assess, well, what is membership? And what will it require for members to begin to show up? And how do we create that culture of attendance? Because we need to make sure that the work we're doing, particularly following when the administration had kicked off as we began our terms, violently discarding the property of homeless individuals or removing them from where they were, the speaker stood with us. And this was an effort that the Progressive Caucus and the speaker did together to show our opposition against the ways in which the mayor was addressing the homelessness crisis. So those early days really highlighted, well, we need to make sure that there is a plank within the council that can effectively respond to the very unjust ways that the administration is handling some of the largest issues of our city that require much more attention and thoughtfulness. And we felt that the caucus could be that place, but in order to be that place, we need to make sure that members are showing up to our meeting. So that was one. And then shortly after that, we had brought on our director, Emily Mayer. We were operating without a director, and bringing her on board, one of the first projects we did was to put together a legislative priority. We have 20 pieces of legislation, which I hope you had some time to review. At the top is ending solitary confinement. And this body has been really dedicated. And right now we've reinstated our commitment to closing Rikers by 2027. So some of the fights that are part of our legislative agenda deeply reflect what reducing the scope of the NYPD means legislatively and through a policy perspective. So we've through the last several months, we've addressed the issue around attendance. Right now, we require attendance of our colleagues in a much more stringent way. And some of the more vocal voices of when the whole hysteria around defunding the NYPD, which is not at all used in any of our documents or in any way or shape that we talk about this issue, some of those members had never even shown up to a single meeting. That's a problem. So now there are real parameters around attendance to ensure discipline of the caucus so that we are fighting towards a just budget, because what we've seen over the last year is a recurring disinvestment of our public school infrastructure. So that's one of our biggest issues and conversations that we're having both around 3K, universal 3K, to ensuring that our arts and music classes aren't cut while we're seeing a boosting of the police forces across the city. And then focusing on our legislative priority, and then putting together this working group that encompassed Councilmember Hudson, Natasha Williams, and others, deeply reflective of the borough-wide distribution of our members to create a much more representative membership. And the statement of principles is really rooted in all of the conversations that came up, beginning with a fair budget and what that looks like. Right now, the conversations we are having is, what will that fight look like? We haven't determined what that strategy is, because for so many years, and particularly through the COVID years, when we really should have had a strong, unified progressive caucus, we had a very weak progressive caucus. We had a caucus that barely existed. And so right now we are trying to, with the statement of principles that we've developed, with the parameters around attendance, with our legislative agenda, which includes 20 pieces of legislation, we are trying to determine, including right before the meeting that I'm in, that Lincoln was in earlier, we had a conversation with the Working Families Party because they endorsed us around strategy and tactics. And that is something that we will struggle with. And I think that's where your input is necessary, because I know that we are working towards very similar end goals, from a fair budget to high quality public education, to ensuring that our neighborhoods are whole and strong and have the healthcare infrastructure that we so need right now. And that we are working towards criminal justice policies that are emphasizing alternatives to incarceration, and with deep partnership with our communities. Lincoln, if you want to add on to that.
I really appreciate, echo the sentiments. I think, as we look forward, our ability to get the legislative agenda items passed into law, our ability to deliver big wins in this budget, and I think our ability to be a foil in pushing back against the worst impulses of this mayor, who, goes out of his way to express his disdain for progressives on a regular basis. And we need to be organized, and we need to be ready and willing and able to push back. And so I think those are going to be each of the ways in which you're going to see the success of the new and improved progressive caucus.
I think we'll take one more question from Art, but before I say that, you have the chance to continue the conversation at our petitioning events. Again, Shahana's on Sunday and Lincoln's on Wednesday. Art, go ahead.
Let me say something. I hear what you both said. I understand that you're committed to progressive principles. And I know that you, Lincoln, a little better than I do. But I know that you are on top of your job, that you are an incredibly responsive and responsible public servant. I think you have a tremendous future.
Thank you.
Speaking of you, I'm not saying that that's not true also, John. But
you're in the 33rd. If you lived in the 39th, you would know better.
I will say this, in our club meeting, we had a furious discussion. And the furious discussion was about this electric issue of the police. And it was because of your, particularly with regard to you, Lincoln, it was your the immensity, the superb quality of your service that turned everybody around and said, okay, we're going to support Lincoln, notwithstanding the offensiveness of this position. And let me tell you, I feel so strongly about this, because there are code words here. When you're talking about, for example, when Jahan was talking about reducing the scope, that's not what you said. That's not what's in the language. The language is not reducing the scope of the police department. It's reducing the size. And it's not just the police, it's correction. And I want to tell you, there have been reports every day about people and Rikers committing suicide because correction officers walk away. On Montague Street, we had a shoplifter who attacked the manager with a knife, and he was a few days ago. Problems with the need for police throughout the city is an electric issue. And when you talk about reducing the size of the police department, you say you're not for defunding police, but what does defunding the police really mean? Defunding the police means reducing the size of the police. And I want to tell you what really upsets me, what I'm very, very worried about is Congress, because we lost in I believe it was 2000, or certainly was in 2000, it was 2018. We almost lost the Senate. We almost lost the House. We barely won both. What was the reason? The primary reason around the country: reduce the police. They cited over and over and over again. They don't use that language, they defund the police, but in fact, it's the same concept that you're talking about. Reducing the police is the same thing as defunding the police, and we have had that recent change of this last November, where we almost lost the Senate and we did lose the House, and this whole idea of defunding the police, which is the equivalent to reducing the police, was cited over and over again as a significant reason.
Thank
So
you.
that's my response.
Okay, that sounded like feedback and not a question.
But that's my attitude, and that's why I'm wondering whether you're willing to rethink the seriousness that a number of us feel about that issue, both you and John. That's my question.
I appreciate, I think both of the council members made it clear that they're standing with the Progressive Caucus and, but are appreciative of our feedback, if I can summarize, and thank you. I think you asked a question earlier, so I'm gonna.
I want to change.
Sorry, Ira, Seamus is gonna.
I
ask the
agree.
I'm sorry, Seamus is gonna ask the question.
Yeah, I promise this one is not about police.
We talk about police, I'm happy to.
So during the discussion at our, during the last meeting, which full disclosure to everyone, I had a case of brain fog due to long COVID, which I got as the IND holiday party. So I inartfully said all my remarks, for which I do apologize. But about 2 hours prior to the meeting, Daily News had a story about the 15 or so members of the Progressive Caucus that left did not receive the endorsement of the Working Families Party. And of course, in some districts like Councilman Brannan, Councilwoman Velasquez, that could actually really make or break their chance. And certainly most of us probably listened to the Brian Lair interview with Jay Jacobs last week, and wherein the chair was basically just lying and also said, Working Families doesn't actually do anything. And of course, we all in this room know it does actually make the margin difference. So what would you say to the fact that basically putting those council members in an untenable position of having to leave the caucus and then losing the Working Families Party line? What would you say to that?
Well, I really appreciate the question, and every district in the city of New York is different. And I think what organizational endorsements matter, what ballot lines matter, vary from district to district. I think that the most important thing is to put real work into our tough general elections and hit the doors and talk to voters and engage with folks to try and bring the vote out and make sure that people like Justin get reelected in tough swing districts. I think slightly less of a tough district than it was, but still a very swing seat. The Working Families Party made decisions on their own about who to endorse and who not to endorse. They didn't consult with us or ask for our approval on which candidates to endorse. And so, I think my sense from the conversations we've had with them is that they similarly want to build a strong progressive movement and support strong progressives that are willing to fight for their values. And I don't begrudge anyone who chose to leave the Progressive Caucus. It may or may not make sense in their district to be a member of the Progressive Caucus, and that's okay. And people know their own districts the best, and they know their politics the best. And we want to support good colleagues and continue to help them get reelected in November. Is there anything you want to add on that?
That was well put, Lincoln. What I'll add is, no one group makes or breaks any one of us. And it is up to the candidate to be disciplined and organized and really build the deep connections that is necessary to get to a broad coalition of support. And while we didn't play any role in WFP's assessment of who they were going to endorse, nor did they play a role in us coming up with our statement of principles, I think for folks in the room right now who are WFP members, reach out to them, ask what their thinking was, what's going on here. And if that is of importance, that should be a feedback that's provided to them. But I do want to really lift up the work that's necessary to ensure that our communities are informed about strong candidates and the role that we have. And so if there is any feedback around candidates like Councilmember Justin Brannan or other seats, I'd love to know. And like, I'd love to know how IND and I can partner in those efforts too. Like, please, like that, I don't think that's entirely a conversation about the Progressive Caucus on its own. Like, please, like build with me. I want to build with you all in a much more authentic way. And so I hope that this is not the first and last time that we're talking about this issue, and that you can count on me as a partner in many conversations. I know there will be disagreements, but I think there will be many opportunities for countless agreements. So how can we get to that place? Like, I'd like to be there. That's my commitment to IND as an endorsed candidate this cycle, which I'm deeply appreciative of.
So thank you. And Justin, or Councilman Brannan was just here before. Hi. The councilman was just here before talking to us about his election coming up. So definitely IND is long taken the R train down there and helped out him. So we're excited about that as well. I promised that was the last question. Do you guys have time for two more questions?
You're in Flatbush. If you need to run, I'm happy to close this out.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay to be here.
Let's make them quick and not so pontificating.
That was for Danielle.
When I was doing petitioning, several people came up to me and says that they are city workers, they are retired city workers. And I'm a retired city worker, and I get this thing in the mail that DC 37 or Hampton Way are changing the medical plan. And from what I'm seeing, I am going from, let's say, I don't know, Canada to maybe Albania. So I want to know. And the woman asked me today when she signed the petition, she said, ask specifically, what are you guys doing to try and do better for the city workers, the retired city workers, with the changing of the health plans?
Yeah. Do you want to start or you want me to talk?
I mean, I have been from the beginning of the whole hysteria around changing admin when I've been in opposition. I've heard from hundreds, if not thousands, of retirees. And on the floor of that meeting where the bill came forward, I was the sole city council member to express my opposition to it. And right now, there's a letter circulating by PSC and some of the other retirees who are in specific alliance, either organization or alliances, around creating a blue ribbon commission, which I am the first signatory of. So this is not like a done deal situation, and the council is on the side of retirees. Lincoln, I don't know if you have any other updates.
I really, Shahana's been a tremendous leader on this. And well, first, where did you work? Where did you work?
The city council.
Oh, really?
The controller's office, Harrison Golden.
Absolutely.
And I also worked for Tom Cute.
Well, thank you.
I was a legislative analyst.
Well, thank you for your service to the city. And, you know, as I said, Shahana's really been outspoken and a great leader on this. And I think what we all believe is that city retirees, people who put their life's work into working for the city of New York, you know, there was an understanding. They might not have the most lucrative salaries in the world, but they were going to have a decent pension and decent and good health benefits. And for us to change the game now and upend people's healthcare in their retirement is unconscionable. But it's exactly what Mayor Adams is trying to do. And what I've been most concerned about as the absolute worst case scenario is shifting all retirees onto Medicare Advantage. And that's what they're trying to do right now. There was a vote of Municipal Labor Committee, Municipal Labor Council, just this past week that would unilaterally shift all retirees onto Medicare Advantage. And the advocates on behalf of the retirees have known that this was coming, that this was the next step, and they are ready to sue. And they are going to go to court and they're going to fight it out. And what I've tried to argue is to the mayor and to the Office of Labor Relations and to the MLC, to our labor partners, while this litigation is ongoing, we should not push anyone off of senior care. That everybody should hold on to exactly the care they have until this litigation is resolved. And once this litigation is resolved, if the council needs to intervene, if we need to step in to make sure that we can prevent every retiree from being forced onto Medicare Advantage, then that's exactly what we have to do. And so we're watching this and monitoring it as closely as we possibly can. We understand that this is literally life and death for retirees. I have heard from more constituents on this issue as a Shahana than probably any other issue in our first year plus in office. And we're going to do everything we can to help fight for quality healthcare benefits for our retirees.
I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, last question. Okay.
Sure. Oh, come on. Now you've piqued all of our interest.
One observation and then we have to let the council.
We are always, this club, Kumbaya with our electeds. I love that we've had a good debate over something like.
Totally.
Point out that it was about a line in a policy statement. It wasn't even a vote that you guys took.
We are such
I
nerds.
just want to observe that we're very lucky to have the electeds.
You're kind to say that, Jason, but, and in all honesty, we want to have these conversations. I appreciate your fire, Art, and your thoughtfulness. And I respect where you're coming from. I respect where Steve's coming from. I respect where Lynn's coming from. We're not going to always agree all of the time. And that's okay. But we can come to these conversations, I think, from a place of mutual respect and trying to understand where one another is coming from. And we'll get to better places with your feedback and input. And so I think both of us deeply appreciate IND's support. We appreciate the work you're doing in petitioning. But we appreciate your support year round and welcome the opportunities to come in and talk and engage on the issues of the day.
Thank you. It looks like Joanne has a question, statement before you go.
Sort of, yeah. Just by sort of a little explanatory, I think that it was the line, I think it was the pledge, right? The signing of a pledge, which is right now fashionable. And a lot of times people, that kind of forces people into positions that are kind of gotcha positions, right? That's a fear that people have. And some of us just don't sign, pledges because the next pledge could be something that, is something that, you're not entirely behind or whatever. But there's a concern about that. I think that that was part of the thing that was upsetting to people is the pledge, which, there is a sense of signing the manifesto, right? That especially for people that we know, Justin being a great example, could not have signed.
Justin had told me he was leaving the Progressive Caucus before he had read the statement of principles.
Right, he had never showed up to a meeting either, so.
I mean, Justin's a great colleague, but he hadn't been to a meeting in a year and it decided he was leaving the caucus before reading the statement of principles. So I think, I call it a pledge, I think a little bit, maybe.
Well, it didn't sound like a pledge. It did say that, so it's a list of things you were pledging.
So look,
There was always a statement of principles in every iteration of the caucus. We just updated it.
That may have been, I'm just saying that in the explanation of what I think was part of the reaction that people had.
I think that lots of people had different reactions and were making decisions about staying or leaving in the caucus for different reasons. But I think people who were leaving the caucus decided politically it was most advantageous to focus on this.
Yes.
And that was in their interest so that they could explain to their constituents, this is why they're no longer in the Progressive Caucus. And I understand that.
Get that,
That was a decision that they chose to make, and they chose to make this a contentious thing. That was not our intention going into this process, and it was disappointing that that was how some of our colleagues handled it. There are people who I love and respect and work with, and will continue to work closely with, and just not inside the Progressive Caucus.
Awesome. And with that, I think I'm gonna let the council people go. Thank you so much for.
Thank you all.
One more reminder, you can bother them more about this or any other topic on either Sunday with Shahana or Wednesday with Lincoln, as we go out and get spark signatures.
That's Saturday.
Oh, and Saturday.
Time on Saturday.
We're gonna have folks at Borough Hall from 10 to 2. I'm gonna be at McCarran though, so if you're there, you won't be hanging out with me.
Right.
But you're welcome to come to McCarran if anyone wants to hang out with me in Williamsburg.
Perfect.
But our staff will be out there.
In relation to the crystal thing, I know you're gonna be in an area where IND's petitions are generally
We're using crystals.
We're using
Yeah, we have
crystals.
crystals.
Yes, well, I was wondering if you think a bunch of rings would be.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. We'll take those. Okay. Yes, we'll take those. Okay, before we break for the night, and Shahana, thank you for signing on. You're free to stay, or if you'd like to get on with your evening, feel free. But thank you for
Thank you
signing
so
on.
much. Just deep gratitude to have the opportunity to be in conversation in the first place. I deeply appreciate just being able to talk, and I also just appreciated the question that came from one of the members about the admin code and the privatization of healthcare. That is a personal issue for me. And like you, I started as a council staffer, and I live with lupus, and I'm constantly needing to navigate the healthcare system. And one of the reasons why I stayed in this work is because of the guarantee of healthcare. And so any changes to that admin code will not be supported by me. And so I look forward to the opportunity to work on that particular issue together as it escalates. So appreciate you all. Thank you and have a good night. See you this weekend.
Sounds good. Take care. All right, so that is the end of our council full portion. It is getting late, but I do want to recognize our Assemblywoman is here, Maynard Humphrey from Albany. Do you want to give us any updates from the last week in Albany?
Oh, you have no idea. I mean, this has been at a lot of levels. So, we passed the one house budgets today. And if you, I do have a book that tells what it's in there. There were a number of things that we perfected outright that were policy. The Senate, I think, put a number of statements of policy, kind of, where they're going kind of statements, not legislative language. In their one house, more than the assembly. We did have, in some cases, something that, we would describe what we prefer kind of thing. But for the most part, we rejected, for example, the governor's proposals when it came to monkeying with bail again as policy, because it's not a budget matter, it's policy. And so we did that in a number of cases. There was pretty much a bipartisan rejection of the housing compact, not because everybody doesn't agree that we need more housing and that we need more affordable housing, but that the approach was problematic. So the assembly put out a different approach to encouraging affordability. We also put in the sort of language of what we would like to see, some language that really opened the door to support for something along the lines of good cause eviction, as well as additional support for the ERAP program, which was where we paid landlords if they would keep people in their housing and not kick them out kind of thing, and they have to sign up for a year to do that. That was very popular. There's some landlords that didn't sign up and kick people out anyway. But Section 8 and NYCHA were left out of that. And so we had a big rally about including them. Something like $30 million in back rent is owed at the public housing that I represent. And so they're pretty enormous losses, and that NYCHA is desperate for money, and people are paying them. They're not actually evicting people, but A, we don't want them to evict them, and B, we want them to be able to recoup that. So while that was again not a budget item, that's something that we included in. And we also, for example, the governor wanted tuition hikes and for higher tuition for those 4 university centers that are the big 4: Binghamton, Stony Brook, Albany, Buffalo probably. And there's a Buffalo State, which is a different institution. And we did not want to increase tuition. So we rejected tuition and we gave them more money for operational expenses as well as capital. Because there's a lot that they both need, but we don't want it to be done on the backs of students. We also increased TAP. More people are eligible for TAP now going forward. So we did we addressed a lot of those same issues, but we did it in a different way. And that's what's in the one house budget. So that's just a very brief recitation. I'm sure we can get into several more pages of it if you don't want to hear it. It's online.
Yeah, any, maybe one, or do you have a question?
I actually have a question.
Okay,
It's not so much about the budget, but what seems to be the fallout among your colleagues with your colleague from the 37th district,
remind us who that is.
Juan Ardilla.
Okay, what's going on? For those of us who don't know.
Me too stuff.
Oh.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
very bad.
That he hasn't denied.
Okay, so let me just very briefly say, number one, I am the ethics chair. This is.
Oh, yeah, so I take back my question then.
The assembly. So.
Take back my question. I don't want to put you in a bad
No,
situation.
no, just say it, so it doesn't come before the ethics, committee, right? But I never know what might, and this would be my position with regard to anybody. And that is, as the ethics chair, I never know what might be a complaint that's filed, whether there's any there or not, you know, I get people calling me up and complaining about people parking, you know. Which is also an ethics matter in some people's minds, but not relevant to my role. So, you know, I'm certainly not making a statement because I think it's most important that if there's ever a complaint made against any member, that they know that they will have a full and impartial investigation, right? So that is sort of my approach. In the meantime, you know, certainly people are talking about it. I think some people are talking about it more than others. There's been a lot of side conversations. And you know, I don't know what the fallout, if there will be fallout, you know. There's no role for the assembly in this matter. And the last person who was expelled from a body in Albany was to stand it with Hiram Montserrat after he was convicted. So this is just not that kind of situation. And people have different feelings about it, and people all over the place. So people are handling this on their own.
And he was a sitting senator when he committed it.
Yes.
That's
Well,
the
apparently he did it like in December, before he took office in January.
He was elected in November.
But he was elected.
He
He wasn't sitting, but he was elected. He had already been
He was
elected.
elected.
And he slashed his girlfriend and then tried to cover it up. And he ended up being, you know, brought up on charges and he was convicted. And after his conviction, that's when the second. We're not talking about.
Happy note.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
Okay, thank you for the updates, and I'm sure people will pick your brain about what else is all to come. But in the meantime, I did want to, for wrapping up, give another huge shout out to Joan for heading up our petitioning. Thanks for doing all the technical things. Getting petitioners in the room. Do we have a rough count of like total signatures for IND? It's probably like 5, 600.
I don't know what I have back in the office.
Okay, like a lot.
I'll give you, we'll probably have.
Okay, perfect. Stay
And we
tuned
can
for.
post it, right?
Yes, yeah,
Always how it-
yeah, perfect. Yeah, let's wrap up and then we'll get you set with some petitions. Okay, so do I have a motion? Thank you, okay. As final reminder, all the events are available at indbrooklyn.org. You can register through the mobilizing, you can get your petition. Anyone who hasn't signed yet, please sign. Thank you and good night.
Oh, is this here?